So I've been getting a couple of messages, comments, emails, and DMs in which some people are really having a hard time with the mythical beasts, the three Cyclops, the Minotaur, and the Medusa. And it's really not as hard as you think it would be. But I understand that these are new players and they're really having a hard time. I just want to help you guys out. So here it is. I'm going to give you all the information that you need in order to take out the three Cyclops, the Medusa, and the Minotaur. Again, it really is not that hard. You just need the right gear, you need the right equipment, and you need the right strategy. I'm Darkstrider, the YouTube Assassin. Let's get into this. So for starters, I'm going to be doing this on my alternate account, which, as you can see, is only level 54. It doesn't have the massive amounts of ability points like I have on my main account, my OP account. This is going to be done this way so that you guys can see exactly what the strategy is, and you can see what I'm working with, and you can see what maybe you could change up in order to take out these things. Now, again, it's not that hard. For starters, I'm using the Greek hero set, and I put some crit damage on. I have some melee resistance, even though it's not that good. As you can see, 3% melee resistance, 5% crit chance. This has 18% melee resistance. I've got all damage on this. I've got the Blade of Yumminess, which gives me 250% all damage, but I can't use abilities, which really, I'm going to do it without abilities. The only one that I'm really going to have a problem with is Medusa, and I'll just switch off the Sword of Yumminess whenever I need to do that. So, the Spartan Javelin, that's another thing that I've got, and this has 18% melee resistance. Melee resistance, let's not pay attention to. Let's pay more attention to the fact that you really should have a lot of crit chance and crit damage on your gear. Now, as you can see, my stuff really stinks. It's very low. In order to fix that, what I'm going to want to do is go and do a bunch of those Astrakas, because the Astrakas will actually raise a lot of this stuff so that your total armor, your crit damage, your crit chance, everything is much, much higher. So I do have a playlist that has all of the Astrakas, where to find them, and the solutions for them. You might want to check that out prior to engaging any of these things if you're having that much of a problem, so that way you at least build up a lot of your skill sets. Level 54. You could see that some of my gear is 54, some of it is 51. These creatures, I think, are only level 50, so we're going to take them out like that. We're gonna make the attempt. Like I said, I'm gonna do this without any problems. I have, as far as ability points, this is my skill set, and I'm not even gonna use any of it really. All right, you definitely want to make sure that you've got the Gear Master and the Weapons Master, because it increases both the damage of your weapons and the damage that your gear can take. So you definitely want to have that. You definitely want to have Second Wind, so that way you have something to heal with. I like to use some of these assassin things like Hero Strike. That's always a lot of fun. Because I'm using poison arrows and fire arrows, I want to have Poison Mastery maxed. Just put one in this right here in venomous attacks, and you only really need one in flaming attacks, so that you could put 3 in the fire and poison mastery. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be going with. All this other stuff is basically if I'm going to be doing a fortress or something assassinating. This Shadow Assassin is great if, again, you're assassinating from behind, but that's not what we're doing. So we're going to have that all set up. The other thing, we want to have the Archery Master. We don't really need the Overpower Bow Strike, but Archery Master we definitely do want to have, because it increases the power of your arrows and whatnot. And you do want Arrow Master, so that way you could craft all the other arrows. Okay? As you're fighting, what you're going to want to do is, you may run out of arrows. You go over to your quiver over here, and you'll see all the different kinds of arrows. All you have to do is just hit craft or craft max. As long as you have everything you need, you can have a full stack of any of these arrows. And you definitely want to do that because a lot of these things are going to be fought at a distance. And I strongly recommend you use everything except the paralyzing arrows, obviously. We're not trying to paralyze it, we're trying to kill it. So that's what you're going to do. Again, as far as abilities, in the mastery levels, I really didn't put anything in here. If you have the points to spare, definitely everything that you're going with. Melee resistance, crit chance, crit damage, things like that, you're definitely going to want to do. Arrow damage, headshot damage, things like that. You want to have that all added. And you want to have as many points as you can in all that. So again, I'm level 54. You can see clearly that this is what I'm working with. This is the lowest tier that I can do. Like I'm not even going to be really trying to go crazy to max everything out, but I'm saying that if you feel the need to, because this is what ends up happening, you're going to have to go and you're going to have to do the Ostrakas, you're going to have to level up your gear, you're going to have to make sure you have the arrows, you're going to have to get comfortable with shooting arrows. Because again, like I said, and I can't stress this enough, it's going to be a keep away game. That's probably the easiest strategy you have against these things, against these mythical beasts. I know a lot of people will just like run up and slash at it. They have that ability and whatnot. I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you a keep away strategy so that you can just do what you need to do, get them. Later on, as you gain more finesse, as you gain more power, as you gain more strength, as you level up your character and you find better equipment and better gear, that's when you could go around and just really knock things around. That's what I do on my OP character. That's what I could kind of do with this character right now. Even though I don't have all the things that I've got for the OP character, the Blade of Yumminess is actually pretty good. The melee resistance is pretty good. And you just have to really play the keep away game. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to start with the actual Cyclops. Then I'm going to go to the Minotaur. Then I'm going to go to Medusa. I'm not going to do the other two Cyclops because I already killed them on this file. And the other thing that I want you to know is that one of the other questions that I have gotten was, do you need any of these things killed in order to enter the Atlantis DLC? The answer is no. The Atlantis DLC, it automatically kind of goes into it. But for you to complete the main constraints of the main story, you're going to want to go and you're going to want to get these items and you're going to want to take them out. You'll get achievements and trophies for doing so. And then you'll be able to see the main storyline. And it kind of sets you up for the Atlantis DLC. It makes more sense as to what's going on and whatnot. So I'm also not going to do all the things that are necessary for the mythical beasts. You're not going to need to see what I did. You already know what to do. You already know how to reach them and whatnot. And I'm also not going to do the Sphinx. Unless you guys want me to. If you need a Sphinx tutorial, give me a message in the comments below. DM me, email me, and I'll do what I can to get you a really accurate Sphinx riddle. That's what they're going to do. It's going to be like a bunch of riddles and a bunch of things that you got to press. To me, it's easy. It's self-explanatory. You can figure it out. But if you're having that many problems with that, you let me know and I'll help you with that as well. All right. So that being said, I'm sorry for the long intro and the long explanation. Let's get into the actual battles now. Of all of the mythical beasts, the Cyclops is going to be the easiest. And that's this Cyclops, the one at Steropes Bay. They're all easy. The weak point is going to be the eye. You saw him defend his eye. Now, you don't have to worry if you miss the eye. Get him a couple of times. You want to play a whole keep away game with him. You really don't want to get close to him unless it's absolutely necessary. What he'll do is he'll start stomping and doing all this crazy stuff. He'll come over, or he'll drop like that. This is when you want to hit him with like your power attacks and whatnot. You don't want to get too close to him before then. You see, we're doing big numbers as we hit him in the eye. This is when you want to do all your power attacks. This is when you want to do whatever you got in your arsenal that's really going to like hurt him. Right now, I'm obviously not doing any damage because I've got the Blade of Yumminess. That's why you don't see any skills that I have.
And I thought Medusa was the handsomest one in the family.
At least for this guy, the second part is that he'll grab the stone axe and then he'll like really get into it. But again, you're going to keep doing the same thing. You're going to keep aiming for the eye. And the other thing you're going to want to do is you'll see him start stomping. He'll trip like as he's chasing you. That's something all of the Cyclops are going to do. We're gonna get out of here. There we go. Just start breaking stuff. Don't remember to roll out of the way when he does that. He gets to his destination, he'll crash into the wall, kinda. It's all a keep away game. You shouldn't actually get like in his face unless he's down. Like right now, you see he's down. This is when you should be getting in and doing whatever power attacks you have. Don't normally fight him head on. That's not what you want to do. And there you go. That is the Cyclops. And you're going to do that with all of the Cyclops. The next one is a little bit tougher. It's going to be the Minotaur.
Minotaur. And here we go.
The Minotaur is going to be a little tougher, but we're going to do the same thing we did with the Cyclops. We're going to basically play like a keep away game. You're not going to want to get too close. You're going to want to make sure you're dodging. When he makes a mistake like that, you're going to want to make sure that like you attack as quick as possible and then move along. There we go. I missed that dodge really bad. You don't want to like keep in his face. You don't want to stay with them and everything like that. That's the main thing. If you're worried about like your abilities and stuff like that, if you get too close to them, they're really going to tear you up. All you want to do is just keep dodging, keep rolling, be patient. You know, you have all day probably to like take this guy out. You got your whole video game session. Here we go, this is the halftime. And man, he seems mad.
I really need to charge more for slaying mythical creatures.
And even though the battlefield seems like a little smaller, we're still going to keep doing that. We're just going to keep dodging. We're just going to keep getting out of the way. We're going to let the Minotaur make a mistake. Oh, he got me good there. So unfortunately, even if you don't like the arrows, even if you don't like playing with arrows, you're gonna have to like learn to love them. There we go.
I killed the Minotaur. What? I would be so proud.
And that was the whole keep away game. That's all we had to do. Still a little more difficult than the Cyclops, but not by much. Now the final mythical beast is actually going to be what's really tough, what a lot of people seem to be having problems with. That's going to be Medusa. Medusa is definitely going to be a little bit tougher. What you're going to want to do is make sure that you're behind these kind of pillars as you're fighting. You want to watch out for these guys, take them out quickly. Don't get too far from behind the pillar so that way she's not turning you to stone. There we go. Once that happens, she drops. Now you kind of want to hit her from a distance with your arrows. That's a pain right there. She's going to keep doing that to try to turn you to stone. Her, I'm not even sure there's an opportunity where you could really get close and actually attack her. That would have been probably the opportunity right there, but... Or when she's getting ready to do that thing. Alright, so now we know she's going to produce those guys again. And while she's in that state, she actually has the ability to bring or hit you with something that'll turn you to stone with that gaze. And you want to avoid that. You want to stay behind the pillars. Take those guys out. This is probably the opportunity where you can really bang her up. Then you got to move. This is probably actually a good time for me to take off the Sword of Yumminess real quick. We'll just change that real quick because we kind of want to survive this, so... Definitely don't want to get turned to stone. See, with those explosive arrows, I get pretty close. Alright, she's going for it again. She's bringing these guys back. Which is not going to be too bad. Hold on, before I even do that. Let me do that. Let me heal up first. My sword back on. Where did I put it? There it is. Blade of Yumminess. Does a lot of damage. And, you know, don't be afraid to, like, move around the field. There we go. Where'd she go now? There she is. Well, now that's a problem. Out of arrows again. So we're going to go to our arrows. We're going to make some more. These seem to be pretty effective. Get a couple of these as well. Which seems to be moving around a lot. There you go, that's what I want. I want you to stay still. So I know other people have like other strategies for this, but like I say, you know, if you're unsure, if you're not confident that you're going to be able to do it by just attacking straight up, your best strategy is to do this kind of keep away method. Heal yourself up, attack from a distance. Make sure that you're healed, take your time, and then also make sure that when she goes and resurrects those guys that you're behind something, you're behind cover, so that she can't really get you, and you can get her.
Why, Zeus? I hate snakes.
Look at that. So that wasn't that bad. That really wasn't. So that's all there was to that. That was basically the strategy. It all comes down to just keeping the monster away. That's all you really have to do. As long as you've got a great arrow set, you've got some skills aiming. You saw I really didn't use any of my abilities except the healing when I was fighting Medusa, and that was very rare. That was like a couple of times. Just like I said, keep away. That's what you want to do, and that's going to work. That's going to be your strategy for the other two Cyclops as well. Sometimes they're going to like trip and fall, those other Cyclops, as they come chasing after you. That's another good time for you to take them out knock them down while they're down. But the hardest part I know a lot of people were having was with Medusa. But that's all there was to Medusa. That's all you had to do. You just take her out like that. Keep away. Make sure that your armor's tight. Like I said, you want to make sure that that's all well taken care of. It's all updated for your level, and you just go with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out an awful lot. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until the next one, take care.